Well, the Colorado Buffaloes ended their season off 9-3 on an impressive victory over the Oklahoma State Cowboys on Senior Day by defeating them 52-0. And it was Senior Day for Shiloh Sanders and Shedeur Sanders. But some interesting things happened between Deion Sanders and his ex-wife. But before we get off into today's podcast, tell a friend to tell a friend. Well, this past Friday, the Colorado Buffaloes played their final game at Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado, and it was Senior Day, and they beat the Oklahoma State Cowboys 52-0. So it was Senior Day for Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh Sanders. Now, you know Coach Prime is the coach, and also Coach Prime is the father of Shedeur and Shiloh. So on Senior Day, that's supposed to be a proud moment for the kids and for the parents. In most cases, the kids get walked out by their parents. But in this situation, we all know that Deion Sanders' estranged ex-wife, Pilar Sanders, she makes her presence known at every Colorado game to watch her kids play, Shedeur and Shiloh. And she shows up and she'll be having her Colorado jersey on. She'll sport a number 2, or she'll sport a number 21, or she'll wear both of them, 2 on the front, 21 on the back with the Sanders name, which she never dropped when her and Deion Sanders got divorced back in 2015. Now it's all well documented, about Deion Sanders and his ex-wife, Pilar Sanders. For people that never watched the show, Deion's Family Playbook, it was a reality show that was filmed here at Deion's home in Prosper, Texas. A home that he got built when he played in the NFL, when he was making lucrative money, and when he played in the major leagues. So he had a home built out in Prosper, Texas, which had a football field on there and everything. He had cattle. He had it all. The mansion was out there. For people that watched the show, it showed the ups and downs of Pilar Sanders and their kids. Now, Deion Sanders and Pilar, they share 3 kids together. Shiloh, Shedeur, and Shalamine, 2 boys and 1 girl. With Shalamine, she went to Jackson State, transferred to Colorado in basketball. Now she's went on to play at another school. And now it was Senior Day. And like I said in the show, Deion's Family Playbook, Deion and Pilar was going through some things, and they went through a messy divorce. They went through some messy accusations that Pilar Sanders brought forth on Deion Sanders, and they showed up in court in Collin County. For the people that didn't know that Deion got divorced in 2015, the judge really wanted to get things over because of all the stuff that Pilar Sanders brought forth on Deion Sanders, accusations of attempted murder, kidnapping, child abuse, and things like that. She even filed a defamation lawsuit, and Deion won that defamation lawsuit, and he cashed out with about $2 million. So back in 2015, through the court proceedings, and this is what happened in the Collin County courthouse. Take a look at this.
Deion Sanders and his ex-wife returned to a Collin County courtroom this morning. At issue, child custody and a defamation suit. CBS 11's Arzo Dose just stepped out of that courtroom in McKinney. Arzo?
Karen, the judge in this case has made it very clear he wants this thing done now, today. In fact, our cameras were here earlier when Pilar Sanders walked into the courthouse first, and then not too far behind was the NFL Network broadcaster and former Dallas Cowboy Deion Sanders. They're in court to work out child custody arrangements and a defamation suit. Now, Deion's attorneys wanted to have less visitation with their 3 children. As for the defamation suit, it includes statements Pilar made on social media accusing her ex-husband of attempted murder, child abuse, assault, and other crimes. Now, Pilar served 7 days in jail back in December after the judge found her in contempt of court. The judge is hoping to get a lot of these issues decided by at least 5 o'clock today. I'm told there's, in fact, a long list of witnesses expected to testify, among them Deion Sanders.
Now, this is what happened back in 2015. That was a clip from 2015 through the messy divorce that they was going through. Now, there was custody battles. Now, if you guys was following the Deion's family playbook, now, Shiloh brought some things against Deion as well. And I think, Shador, he was the only one that really was supportive of his father. He stayed with his father, you know what I'm saying? And he has a bond with his father. Now, Shiloh brought some accusations up against Deion. I don't think he wanted to live with Deion. He wanted to live with his mother. But in the family playbook, Pilar, she tried to change the kids' names and stuff like that. If you watch them episodes, you'll see what I'm talking about. And Deion, through it all, with his pastor, with prayer and things like that, he overcame. So what happened? So we get to senior day, and the kids are to walk out. And Shiloh made reference to, he wanted to try to get the mother and father, Deion and Pilar, to walk down together, but that wasn't happening. And Deion wants no parts of Pilar at all. He can't stand to be around her. And basically, Deion is letting people know that these are the type of women that you avoid at all costs. So let's take a look at what happened at senior day when Deion Sanders walked his kids out, and then they was met by their mother at, center field, and Deion took an exit left. He got out of there like he struck a Heisman pose. He got out of there. Let's take a look at what Deion Sanders did when he walked his kids out. Let's take a look.
From Dallas, Texas, number 2, Deion Sanders. And a safety, number 21, Shiloh Sanders. Joined by
Watch what Deion does.
Deion, Coach Brian Sanders. For all of our honorees playing in their final game.
Deion got up out of there. Now, you see in that clip, man, Deion exited left quick, fast, in a hurry. Now, Deion coming off his surgeries and stuff like that, the amputation of his big toe, removing the blood clots, that's a blessing. Prayers to Deion for, his recovery, and he's moving well. But Deion got out of there quick, fast, in a hurry, like he was back in the NFL playing in his heydays. He exited left. And he wants no parts of Pilar Sanders. Now, when a woman drags you through the mud like that, these are the type of women that you need to avoid at all costs. Normally when, married couples get divorced, this is always the women, filing for divorce over a man for all kinds of reasons. I mean, they blow their nose wrong. They want a divorce. But in this situation, Deion, he filed from divorce from Pilar. Now, that's bad. He had to get out of there, and it wasn't because of infidelity or anything like that. I just think Pilar is a different type of breed. She's a little, on the cuckoo side. And Deion wanted no parts of that. For you to bring against accusations talking about attempted murder against her and the children, and then you're talking about kidnapping and things like that. So the judge rewarded Deion full custody. So Deion got full custody of the kids, but Shalimar, I think she stays with the mom, but Deion has, custody of them kids. So that's why you always see, Shador and Shiloh always with Deion. But when their mother comes around, they embrace their mother. They love their mother, which they should. That's respect. She gave birth to them. But Deion is just letting people know these are the type of women that you got to avoid at all costs. So you guys let me know what y'all think about today's podcast on how Deion treated his ex-wife at senior day. He exited left. But that goes to show, man, that just because you look good don't mean that you're good for that person. Looks are deceiving. You got to have a personality, and, something actually, was wrong with Pilar at the time. But Deion got up out of there. And that's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. And remember, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. And we're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Droppin' podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.